All right, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Base Hit, where I am your host, Zubaz, longtime Pirates fan, and that's my co-host, Clone. Clone, how's your week?
Man, it's all right. Uh, I'm already tired because
Because the Dodger
staying
games.
up for these Dodger games, which I enjoy, but they're mostly ending at 1, and I like to watch the post
Post
game
game.
too,
Yep.
and that's not good for me. But I have been enjoying getting back into the rhythm, although they can't hit for shit, and I know nobody wants to hear me complain about it, but whatever.
Uh yeah, but
Your
they're they're
team.
they're still in first place. They're doing fine. They're fine.
Your team, every time I'm looking, they're scoring 80 fucking runs.
Hey, they're living up to what you predicted. They've stolen double the bases of any team in baseball so
Really?
far. Yeah, they've stolen 16 bases in the first 5 games. They're running wild, dude.
Gotta be fun. It's
Oh,
gotta be
it is very fun to watch.
yeah, I'm watching Strikeout City. Yeah.
It's so funny because like everybody on the even our catcher William Contreras can run a little bit, but we have one guy, Gary Sanchez, backup catcher, and whenever he's on base, I'm like, oh, like where before like everybody is like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but like you get one guy that can't run, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, what fun is baseball?
I haven't been looking to see the rate numbers yet, but because it didn't look that high at the
It's
beginning.
not that high so far.
Um,
It's coming.
but yeah, when I see it, it seems like people still aren't, yeah, people still aren't taking advantage of it as much.
Brewers are running wild, dude. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Uh, I haven't seen the changes to the predictions yet, too. But we had talked about the Brewers being underrated, and has everybody taken it back yet?
No, that's why I'm wearing the Pirates hat and pretending to be a Pirates fan today. Because like while the Pirates did make some great efforts for the first time in a while, and actually their team is pretty exciting. I like them, but they're supposed to be in second place, so I figure I would just jump ship and go with the second place team. You know, the
Hey,
Pirates. So I'm a
we haven't
Pirates fan
talked
now.
about. I didn't even know we were going to record today. So we haven't talked about. Did you read? So they just had. Did they just set a record? It wasn't the Pirates, but there was a record contract for a guy that hasn't played before.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there there was
Emerson.
there was two contracts. One was Cooper Pratt. The Brewers locked up a guy
Yeah.
for 8 years, 50 million, and
How you
then
feel about that? How you feel about that?
uh, it was unusual for sure because he's only played like 3 games of AAA, and so they obviously see something there. And it's not really 8 years as much as it's 8 years plus two club options. So it's really like 10 years, like Churio's was. So they clearly see something. This guy is Gold Glove minor league guy at shortstop, but he's like 6'3", but he has not hit. So it's like they must see something that they feel very confident they can fix with this hit tool because that's a big commitment for the
How
Brewers.
much, how many years of control would they have otherwise? Like,
They would,
if
well, that's the thing. It's like with service time manipulation, you can really get 7 years out of a person. You're supposed to get 3 and 3, 3 pre-arb, 3 arb, but if you don't play them for the first month of the season, you can get away with that first season.
yeah, yeah.
So so with a guy that's almost certainly not going to come up this year, at least not come up until September. Oh my God, I did not mean to do that.
Well, how
Uh,
did you do that?
I don't know how I did that. At least not come up till September. Um, you're paying for one of the 8 years in the minor leagues. And so you're just getting the seven. So it
Yeah,
feels like they have to be counting on those two club options, and they have to be real sure that they are high on him because what they're seeing right now is like Bryce Terang's having a beginning of a year where it's like, oh yeah, he's a superstar, and it's too late to lock him up now
yeah,
because
yeah,
he'd be foolish to sign now.
yeah, yeah.
And so I feel like they're looking at these guys now saying, no, 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 we're not taking any chances. We're locking them all up.
I mean, I do think, yeah, we had talked about before. I do think that that's people are realizing, yes, that jumping the time and locking guys up. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is one of you get a lot of the best deals if you lock these guys up early. But yeah, it's again the record. Who did Emerson? Who
Yeah,
signed
Colt Emerson. Yep.
for what team?
Uh, why you putting me on the
Yeah, I
spot?
don't know
It was
either.
the
But anyway,
Tigers,
I know
right?
it was like 130 million for a guy that hasn't played before.
Sorry, Mariners. Mariners.
Oh, Mariners. Okay.
Yeah,
So I mean, it does seem crazy, but yes, they
because
got to be
his
paying
was
him.
what, 8 years, 95 million? Is that what it was?
Oh, there's one. Somebody has 130 million one.
Um,
And the reason I even brought it up in the first place is because I saw that Pirates are going into the negotiations with Connor Griffin.
well, and that's the other reason I'm wearing the pirate stuff is they announced just right before we started recording that they're bringing him up this week.
Yeah,
So
and
they
that's
they must be about to announce that they signed him because otherwise they wouldn't get that salary cap exemption. But they also get they have a chance to get the prospect bonus if he wins Rookie of the Year. So
that's it.
I,
Interesting.
th- I think only if he wins Rookie of the Year. I might be wrong about that. Maybe there's something else, but
It's interesting. I mean, this seems new, the mega contracts for these young guys, but
it is. But
um,
you kind of could see it coming, right? Like,
uh,
yeah.
I don't know
I
if it's
also
going to be a
still think
problem.
there's something tied to the CBA that some of these teams are trying to get in front of because we've never seen contracts
Oh,
like this. And for two of them to hit this quick and then probably a third with Connor Griffin, it feels like they must be trying to either grandfather themselves in or something. I
yeah, I
don't know.
hadn't thought about that. I mean, but it also feels like just going back to NFL. Remember when, they had the big old problem of like every year the number one pick was setting a record and making more money than anybody that had played ever, and then they had to fix it, and that's when they put in the rookie caps, which made some sense. Anyway,
It
we'll
was a good
forget it.
idea,
But yeah,
especially like during the Eli Manning phase where like his ass coming out of college were crazy, and then you see like Caleb Williams later on like asking for equity in the Bears and things like that. It's like you almost have to put some barrier in
yeah,
there because some guys look really really good in college and you know bust out
uh,
Jamarcus Russell. You look
interesting.
great, right?
Yep. Uh, so that's sorry, I'm hijacking you. That's one of the conversations that I've been hearing about. The other conversation is, of course, your favorite umpire. He's been all over the.
CB Buckner.
Yeah.
This has to be the worst week any umpire's ever had. He was on blast like nationally, like virally. I kept seeing it on uh, X, on Instagram, on YouTube. Everybody's talking about CB Buckner, how bad of a game he had against the Reds, and the highest decibel of any game in baseball that day was to overturn a CB Buckner call. Um, with Eugenio Suarez at the plate. The next game, he's first base for the Brewers, and he like hallucinated a call saying that Jake Bauers didn't step on first when his foot literally couldn't have been more on first. There, like it's impossible to be more on first,
They're
and he wasn't
overdo
even
it.
looking. So it's like, and the weird thing is, I replayed it a bunch of times. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go out on a little story here, but if you watch him, the second baseman throws the ball to the right of the first baseman, so and you can see CB Buckner's eye line looking at the ball, which is where he probably should be looking at that point. And Jake Bauers hits first base, then runs to the end. He turns very cleanly towards the foul side, so it's not like he made a move to second base. Because if CB Buckner wasn't looking and they tagged and he called him out for that, I could kind of understand because he ran
Uh-huh.
through the base and maybe he thought he did a shimmy or something. But when they came back and they tagged him for that, you see CB Buckner look confused, then look down at the base, then look at Jake, and then call him out. It was like he manufactured like this story.
Well, who was it against the who was it Rays or who was it?
Yeah, the Rays.
They threw over to first to check and see. Like I thought it came from them,
It
but they
did.
they just they acted like maybe something happened, and then he seemed like he yeah.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
he was worried he had missed it, so then he just
I missed part of the story. So they threw back to first base, but Jake Bowers was still walking back, and he walked back and tagged him. CB Buckner didn't do anything. Then he stepped down the base, and that's when Buckner did that look around, and then he was like, "They must be doing it for a reason, so I better call him out."
yeah,
So
that was
so that call gets overturned, and you see the managers looking at each other confused, and then they both start laughing, which was like a very weird moment in baseball to have the managers enjoying a laugh together. But then the next day, Mizorowski's pitching. He throws like a 103-mile-per-hour fastball to the Rays catcher Fortes. Fortes, by the way, God, he's good. I didn't know anything about Fortes. Like he's great at calling a game psychologically. Um, I don't know why I keep doing this. I think that's the laser beams. Um,
you haven't done anything other
I
ones.
didn't mean to, but he's a really good catcher. I like him a lot. We'll hear more about him eventually. But so Mizorowski throws just a heater inside, clips Fortes's bat, and goes zooming right into Buckner's face. And it was loud. I don't know if you could hear it from the video I sent you, but it was loud. And you see him, just slot machine eyes. And
And he was
yeah,
done for the game, right?
yeah, he was out for the game. Yeah, they went down to a three-man crew. But that that's not even a week. That's like the worst 3 days in umpiring history.
It's rough because you're so anti-ump, and I've been trying to defend them, and
But he really is bad.
yeah, that game was terrible. That game against the Reds was terrible, and the worst part being, I mean,
That check swing call was like
he made bad pitch calls, which will happen, but he's got the dance, which is stupid. The strikeout dance, which totally is just playing
he did that. He gets up on his tiptoes. He's like, "Ah, you out."
totally just playing into what you were saying. And then yeah, the check swing thing, which it did feel like he was just on tilt and he just decided
It
like,
did.
and then when he had the argument with Cora, it was like, no matter what happens, I'm going to throw you out. Like, yeah, it felt
Yeah.
awful.
But to be fair, like I don't think he's indicative of the other umps. I think he's in my I'm going to say the word objectively the worst ump and known as the worst ump. Like there, I when I was searching for that clip about CB Buckner to send to you, I saw like an old clip that John Boy had from like a year ago saying like talking about him as just he cannot find the strike zone, and this is like in a Yankees game last year, so it's pretty clear that he was already thought of as the worst ump.
I mean, it's still the story of baseball so far, but getting used to it. It's good, the ABS. I was saying
It's real good.
maybe to defend the umps, I do enjoy the part I enjoy the best is yet the batters who get out and it's clearly a strike and they ask for the review and then they get the embarrassment of like, nope, that was totally a strike.
And it's like fully red. It's all the way in the strike zone.
I've found those to be pretty enjoyable. There's also the like seeing guys struggle with whether to use it or not. Like,
They
yeah,
get their hand about right here.
yeah. And you gotta I even like they implemented I'm shocked, but you gotta call it like in the first 2 seconds, like
Two
because
seconds,
Will
yeah.
Smith had one where he was batting and he did that and he tapped, but it was like maybe
It's,
3 seconds after they're like, nope, it's too late. Like I was like, okay.
I think they're trying to protect you from getting a sign from the dugout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he would. I still don't think he would have gotten one, but yeah, it was so they were so militant about it. And I'm confused about what if you're what is the catcher supposed to do if there's a pitch and you don't know if it's a check swing that's going to be called or whatever else? Like, are you
Oh,
supposed to review first, or are you supposed to?
yeah. There was a couple of those this week, and I'm not sure exactly either. Um, like there's some order
I
of
think you're supposed to
operations they
review. You got to
have, but
review immediately.
yeah,
And
I would think so. And then, but But let's say there's a check swing and the catcher does that while the batter's hitting and the first baseman calls it, you already have information that like, well, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's that one. Yeah. Are you using up the challenge? Dodgers had one. I can't remember where it was throwing a guy out, uh, or trying to throw out on a steal, and after he threw down for the steal, he tapped, and they said it was too late. So what do you supposed to tap
While
at the
he's
same
stealing,
time that you're throwing down?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Brewers had one like that where they were doing a pickoff back at first, and I think, and then tapped his head after he threw, and it was like, nah, you can't get both because you got up, you got up. It was probably a strike, but because he didn't frame it because he was getting up to throw to first, and then it got called a ball on top of it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's
Now,
just part of the game now, right?
interesting.
Yeah.
I told you when I was at pickleball this week, I did when I didn't like one of the calls.
And
Nobody
nobody figured it out what you're doing.
reacted yet.
That's good. Uh, yeah, yeah. So, but overall, like it's clear it's become a huge fan hit, much bigger than I think anybody anticipated it would be. But when you really think about like when they instituted replay in football, like the overwhelming like feeling, it wasn't that fans were so excited about replay itself. It just shows how bad the fans just want it to be right. It's not what am I doing that's causing that? They just want it to be right and like an overturned call. They're cheering for the accuracy. They're not cheering because they got over. You know what I
uh,
mean?
yeah, I don't know. I guess. I
They're
mean,
cheering for the accuracy.
football, it takes so long. I don't know. You want the accuracy, but it feels like
Football, it does take too long. But I mean,
away
and
from
but
it.
the fans still cheer, right? Like even with that amount of time, they're willing to wait to get it right.
If you're watching the replay, yeah.
And again, you accuse me of being an ump hater all the time. I just want to clarify. I just want it to be right too. And that is an impossible job we're asking them to do. And check swings, especially, like that's an impossible job. Nobody's in the right. The only place that you could be is directly overhead to make correct check swing calls. And they can't do that, but a computer could. So,
If
like anything we could just get 100% accurate, we should.
if they switch to full ABS, you would not have the excitement from the crowd like you're talking about.
I get that. I get that. Yeah. And I think the players have overwhelmingly said they don't want that. They could in the minor leagues, the times they tried it, they didn't like it. They want to they but they just don't want egregious calls that change games,
Hmm.
which that CB Buckner one was a perfect example because that was a really tight game. Many of those calls had runners in scoring position, including the Trevor Story check swing. And it was like he was like an active primary participant in the game, and you just can't have that.
I still haven't seen. Have you seen any? I still want to see the team get pissed at each other for using them at bad times, or I still think that's going to happen. Or pitchers feeling pissed that their catcher hasn't covered them, but I haven't seen it. I mean, I have seen games where guys. I mean, the very first game we talked about with the Yankee guy who did it at such a stupid time, where people have used them up and then they don't have them
Yeah,
for later.
yeah. I mean, there's been a bunch of examples of that, but I haven't seen people like overtly get mad at them. But yeah, it's honestly, I think best practice is you're starting to see things come into frame already. And I think it's going to, I don't think you're going to see much of that, to be honest, unless people just are truly tilted. I think there's going to be such defined rule set in how you do it and where you do it. Kind of like base running. Base running is really complicated, but the players just know instinctively how they should do it now. I think the ABS will be the same thing.
I'm curious. I've seen a bunch of metrics. Like they're trying, you could see them trying to figure out what metrics to use for the ABS stuff. But it's going to be skewed by the fact that a lot of the times that people are using it, they're not even necessarily believing in it because they're using it at the end of the game. We talked
Yeah.
about.
And
Uh,
am I right that you get one additional ABS challenge for every extra inning, right?
yeah,
Full,
for extra
full
inning,
inning, not half inning.
for extra
So
inning. But you're seeing a bunch of. I've seen a bunch of them in the where
the
guys
ninth inning,
haven't used them in the second inning when they might have, and they might have been right, but then they use them in the ninth inning on a
just to
just
try.
to use it because they have it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's gonna skew the success rate down a bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. They're gonna have to figure out some way to account for that because especially in ninth inning, definitely in extra innings, because you already know it's a close. There's no way it's not a close game. You're going to always use your ABS.
yeah. Uh,
I would think it'd be silly not to.
yeah, you might as well. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Um, I saw William Contreras use it a couple times when the ball didn't end up where he thought it was going to, so he didn't frame it properly, but it was still a strike. So he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like pulling it out, and he got called a ball, and he brought it in as a strike. It was like, oh, that was a good use of it.
yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that's why to have the catcher. Catcher knows he screwed up.
Yes, yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good one. And there was the CB Buckner one of like the idea that yeah, when the count is 3-0, that people expand the strike zone and yeah, and the robots aren't going to expand the strike zone. Yeah.
Talk through that for people that don't know what you're talking about, because I thought that was crazy when I heard it. That the three
Just knowing,
three
yeah.
That's just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If
Talk
it's a
through it.
3-0, if it's a 3-0 count, you're more likely to get the strike call on your next borderline pitch.
But they've been open about that they expand the strike zone.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I what I thought you were talking about was the interview with who's the really famous up that retired last year? Joe, the
The other guy
big
people don't like.
the big guy that everybody does like.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh God, I'm forgetting his name. I'll look it up. But um, he was getting interviewed by Foul Territory yesterday or the day before, and he said that was just like part of the game. Is that the umps would expand the strike zone on 3-0 counts. They would also sometimes expand the strike zones on games that were like no longer competitive. And it was just like a known part of the game. Everybody was fine with it. And when I hear that, I'm like, my mind wants to explode because, like, while I can understand what they're trying to do,
Yeah, yeah,
like, that's crazy. Like, that, you can't do that.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
have the goddamn strike zone, you wackos. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, yeah.
It's, uh, it's kind of
Trying
like,
to get it down to a science, which is not, which was never baseball. But I understand. I understand.
I disagree with that. I mean, I would argue that with baseball's like strict adherence to stats, to exacting numbers of space between base pads and all this, like it was supposed to be a science. It was supposed to
Okay.
level the playing field, right?
Yep.
And if we're
Argument.
changing, like, could you imagine in football, like if you
But it's
made the first
well,
down
but I
like
know in
nine
basketball, I know in
yards?
basketball and football. No, football it happens all the time. Football, the interference calls are very different at the end of games than they
Okay.
are.
That's true.
If
Yeah, that is
where
true.
they don't want to be involved if
Like
it's
let them play. That happens in basketball more than any sport.
yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, that is
Uh,
true.
whether it should or not.
That's a good one. Yeah, you got me on that one. That's a good one.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You could program the robots to expand the strike zone. Uh, whatever.
I don't know. I'm a big fan. I'm glad it's there.
I didn't mean it
Baseball.
all to be ABS again. Did you have any other tales you wanted to tell of the beginning of the season
Well,
on your mind?
no. We didn't just talk about ABS. We also talked about uh uh the rookies getting contracts. We talked about the steals in Major League Baseball. I don't know, the start of the season has me very excited about what's to come. Baseball has never been better. Um,
Some
it's
records. The first debut walk-off grand slam. That was the first time ever.
who? What are you talking about?
I can't remember what game it was. Guy in his first game ever hit walk-off grand slam. It was the first time that it ever happened.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Wait, was
Giant.
that McGonigal?
No,
No.
it was a guy in his third game. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Giants set the record for the least amount of runs in their first, or no, well maybe it was the Yankees the other way, but
Oh, speaking of the Giants, you know how on this podcast we've been a little suspicious of
yeah,
Tony Vatello. Andrew Fisher played for Team Italy. He is a Brewers third base prospect that played for Vatello in Tennessee. He was getting interviewed on MLB Network yesterday, and they said, "Hey, tell us something about." First, they were asking him about something else we talked about, the black face paint, because he's the guy that has the face paint everywhere. And he said that he did it on a dare to make the coach tell him to take it off because everybody was just trying to piss off the coach, I guess. And the coach never told him to take it off, so he just put more on the next time, and then it just became a thing. Well, so after that, he's like, tell us about something about Tony Vitello, like trying to set him up to say something nice about his old coach. I swear to God, Andrew Fisher says he's like, oh, you got to be careful with Tony. Like if like you're in the clubhouse with him, he has these sets of boxing gloves, and he'll make you just put them on. He'll fight you right in the clubhouse anytime. So you got to be careful. And he's saying it with a smile on his face, and I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? This guy's an absolute psychopath. So
sounds like they enjoy that, but yeah.
I think they probably did as Tennessee college kids, but can you imagine him being like telling Raphael Devers to put on boxing
I
gloves?
heard I heard that yeah, he gave fire and brimstone speech at the beginning of the season, and apparently it was really a dud that they were all like, we're not kids and we don't want to hear this. But
Yeah.
they yeah, they scored one run in the first three games. I think they've scored since then, so good for them. Maybe it's working out. If
It seems to
if
be
Mac,
working out just
good.
fine so far.
Congratulations.
God, if they would have just signed Framber, that team would have been perfect. I feel bad for my
The
boy
Bruins?
Willie Adamas, who's the consummate professional. He has to be going through hell right now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All
All
right,
right,
man.
we're leaving it right there. That's this week in Base Hit. Till next week, we are out of here.